What's up, guys? Alright, let's talk about Season 2, Episode 11 of The Flash. Very first video I'm ever doing talking about the TV show The Flash. Not much happened in this episode. I thought more would have happened since this was the return of Season 2 since this mid-season finale. However, the ending really took the cake for me. The return of the main villain, the Reverse Flash, really had me wondering how in the hell he is back. We all know Eddie killed himself to erase the existence of Airborne Phone, but somehow he's back. And obviously it's not the Harrison Wells version of the Flash, it's his original appearance of Airborne Phone. A lot of people are saying that possibly he is an Earth 2 version of Airborne Phone, but for me, that seems too much like a coincidence considering, you know, we learned that different versions from Earth 2 of characters of Earth 1 can be completely different. Isn't it too much of a coincidence that both versions of Airborne Phone became Reverse Flash? That seems kind of weird to me. But if that is the case, I guess you could say it's destiny that most versions of Airborne Phone will become the Reverse Flash. But with anything with time travel, when you change things in the past or the future, it changes the whole timeline and, deviations occur. Possibly when Barry messed with the timeline, for example, when he rescued everybody from Vandal Savage, maybe somehow that messed with the future and Airborne Thawne is now existing again. Or maybe Airborne Thawne is a complete paradox and it doesn't matter if Eddie killed himself. However, after Eddie killed himself, we've seen Airborne Thawne cease to exist. So there's a lot of questions about how this character is back, especially back in the present timeline. It seems like when he arrived, it was the same way he arrived when he was fighting the future Flash in season 1. He asks Gideon, "Where am I?" Where am I? You know what I mean? And that's what happened in season 1 with the original Airborne Thawne. So it's almost like time is repeating itself, but this time it's repeating itself, but also it's repeating itself in the future of this timeline. If that makes any sense. Maybe he's a paradox, like I said. In the preview, Harrison Wells, of Earth 2 says this is his origin story. But if this is his origin story, how is that possible? Because he appeared later, in the past of this timeline. So it just really boggles my mind and hurts my mind a little bit. I'm really interested to see why he's back and how he's back. It's really cool to see that they have him, they have him captured in the previews and he's freaking out and stuff. Is it possible that him and Barry will join forces to take out Zoom? I can't see that happening because Zoom seems to be stealing Speedster's speed from the Speed Force, and we know the Reverse Flash goes from the the negative Speed Force. So Zoom shouldn't he shouldn't be a threat to Reverse Flash unless Zoom finds a way to stealing the negative Speed Force as well. But it's interesting to see what exactly is going to happen next episode. As for everything else in this episode, it was okay. I'm really enjoying seeing the relationship between Joe and Wally West starting to develop. I think it was unfair for Joe to try to become an instant dad, as he called it. And I think it's also unfair for Wally to kind of be upset with Joe for not being there. Joe had no idea he had a son. Granted, yes, he's a detective, but he was trying to protect Iris, his daughter. I'm sure if Joe knew she was pregnant, Francine was pregnant, he would go after her and want to raise Wally. But I can understand where Wally's coming from as well. He's a kid, and he has some pent-up feelings towards Joe for not having a father. But this is a chance for them to finally have a relationship, and I'm glad that it seems to be going in that direction after they basically said, let's start over, let's slow down a little bit, and they decided to eat Chinese food together. As for Barry and his ex-girlfriend now, I'm a little upset about that because she seemed like the perfect woman for him. They were basically the same type of person. But this opens up a door for him to try to go after Iris now. Even though he says he moved on, it's obvious he didn't move on. I think he still somewhere deep down inside has feelings for Iris. And we know from that newspaper clip from season 1 that he ends up with Iris later on because her name was Iris West Allen, or Iris Allen West or something like that. She takes a hyphen name. So it's interesting to see if they're going to end up together. Maybe Barry always messing with the timeline. Maybe they don't end up together in the future. I don't know. Maybe there's a whole new future. Because when you mess with timelines and the past and the present and the future, deviations spread off from the timeline. Usually that's how that works in science fiction. And that might be also why Airborne Phone is still alive. But if Airborne Phone is still alive, why isn't Eddie still alive? I guess because you can't change the past. In DC, I think the way it works is you can't change the past, but it can change the future. And maybe when Barry, like I said, changed the future and rescued his friends, after Vandal Savage killed them, his comrades and his friends, maybe that somehow changed the future to allow Airborne Phone to exist again. But what are your thoughts on that, guys? I want to hear your feedback. Why do you think Airborne Phone, the Reverse Flash, is back? Do you think he's an Earth 2 version? Do you think that's too coincidental and you agree with me with that? I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear your theories. Granted, we only have a week to wait to find out exactly why he still exists, especially because in the preview, Joe says, I thought he, ceased to exist when Eddie killed himself. So it's going to be interesting to find out why he's back. He could very well just be a paradox in the timeline, and that's why he is still existing. Maybe the negative speed force allows him to, basically forgo logic, and basically there's no logic when you're dealing with time travel, but still. What are your thoughts? I want to know, guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I greatly appreciate it. Should I continue doing Flash discussion videos for each episode? And if I should I also do Arrow and the upcoming Legends of Tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.